Yeah, I walked into the studio feeling good today. It's a beautiful day, feeling grateful. And I'd like to open it up nice and casual. First of all, cheers. Please welcome to the show the one and only, one of the top prosthodontists in the world, not even the country, and one of the fittest because most prosthodontists and dentists aren't in the shape that he is. And I know because I train his whole family. Dr. Emile Cahi.
Hi, Kaz.
Welcome to. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You've been so busy traveling up and down, changing people's lives left, right, and center. I know I've only got you in for a short time. There's patients waiting. They've been calling. Let's go back to the beginning.
Yes.
As a youngster, was fitness, wellness in the family unit? How did you eat? Did you play a lot? Exercise? Let's talk about growing up.
Yeah, growing up, I was always very, not that I was health conscious, but I was the sporty type. So I did a lot of sport at school, natural sport, athletics, swimming, hockey, rugby, soccer, whatever went.
You're like
I
Daley
did.
Thompson, you did everything.
So I did everything. So, it was really a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And really after I finished university, you don't have that much time for sport, especially after I finished my studying.
Yeah.
And then I started going to gym for the first time. I think I was 29 or 30, maybe 30. And I'm happy to say I've been keeping that up for 30 years.
Well, you have been maintaining it. But let's go back to what were your main disciplines at school? What were you the strongest at? Or were you just all-rounded good?
I was generally an all-rounder, but I was a good athlete and a sprinter.
Okay,
I never had the capacity or the stamina for long distance. I wasn't interested in the long distance.
Long distance used to be terrified. I used to always try and sneak out of those long distance runs. So 100 meters, you were like 100 meter?
Yeah, I was a sprinter, 100, 200, 400, relays.
So that's the reason for are those legs, first of all, genetic, something like that? Where do you guys get the genetics from? Because you have your brother as well, and your sister's got good genetics.
Yeah, I'd say it's genetic, and then obviously with the sport, I was also a good long jumper. And I think with a long jump, probably I built, not without thinking as I was a teenager. Probably that's where, the legs come from. And I loved it. And then I played a lot of team sports, so the hockey and the soccer.
Yes.
You also,
and you're a Liverpool fan. Well, congratulations. I'm Man United, and it's not a good season for us.
You'll never walk alone.
Sure. Let's talk about when you first decided that you wanted to get involved in the line of business that you're in, working with teeth and a prosthodontist. When did you realize that that's what you wanted to do?
Dentistry, I only really thought about in my standard 9 year, which is grade 11. And I was, at the time, more interested in medicine.
Okay.
But in those days, when I say those days, it was in the early 80s, the general practitioners, doctors, never had great family lives because they did a lot of
always
home
on
visits.
call, yeah.
Always on call, home visits, midnight. We used to get our family doctor to come out at any time.
Yeah.
So I thought that's not a great life, not a great family life. And I thought dentistry was more within the time period or that you study, a more specialized.
Yes.
So I went into dentistry. So I chose dentistry
because your brother had he already qualified?
He had already been a dentist. Well, he was in fourth year. He's 4 years older, 4.5 years older than me. And yes, that obviously played a role in my life. Yeah. Without me thinking, I would. As the younger brother, you never want to admit you're going to follow your older brother.
Yes.
But it absolutely it had an influence, and I saw what he was doing. And and then we thought, well, it's great to have a family business one day. But I mean, my father there was no family in the no medical industry that
what
I grew up in.
What did your parents do?
They were in business. My dad was in business. He owned bottle stores. That was his passion. Yeah. And a few small hotels in the rural towns. Okay. Rural hotels. And so that's what their background was. I grew up serving alcohol on a Saturday morning. Wow. So it was a very different lifestyle. But my parents were always adamant that they wanted us to have a degree. Yes. So I said, you can come back into my business, but go and get a degree. Yeah. So, my interest was anything from dentistry, medicine to accountancy. Wow. So it was very varied. And to tell you the truth, I think I was in fourth year of dentistry before I actually knew, yes, I'm going to do this.
Yes, yes.
Because I didn't know if I really had the passion
Yeah.
for dentistry. But then that passion grew, and I eventually qualified as a dentist. And then I was interested in specializing.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to ask you. How did it go from the dentistry? And what is, first of all, what is prosthodontics? Let's talk about that because it's specialized.
Yes.
And not everyone knows about it.
Yes. Unfortunately, not too many know about it, and there are very few that are around, and maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But just to get that right, it's prosthodontics. So it's
Prosthodontics.
P-R-O-S.
Yes.
T-H-O, dontic, prosthodontic. Now, prosthodontic is from prosthetic, so anything that is artificial or cosmetic in your mouth. So what's part of it is prosthetics of the face, prosthetic eyes, noses, ears. That's also part of my field. We trained in making the prosthetic eye, so whatever surgery cannot
so you can work in more than just the teeth?
Yes. No, we trained in doing these prosthetic eyes, ears and noses. It's a very specialized field, as you can imagine. The materials are very expensive. So I don't do it run-of-the-mill in my practice because of the material costs. But I loved it. I loved the training, and every now and then there is a case that I'm willing to get involved with. You know, especially there are very sad cases, as you can imagine. It's following motor car accidents, cancer, diseases.
It can be life-changing.
It's life-changing. It's absolutely life-changing. What a small difference one eye can make, and well, not one. I mean, you can imagine what one eye can do. But it's a massive life-changing event, and to see the glee on somebody's face is just the reward that you trained for all your life. You know?
Let's talk about the worst moments that you've been through and how you made it through from struggle to strength, whether in your personal or career life, and possibly how fitness and health helped you get through it, anchor you through.
Fortunately, I should just come back to what prosthodontics do.
Yes.
We can come back to that.
Yes.
Because I told you about the eye, but what I spend 99% of my time is obviously working in people's mouths, and it's building up, reconstructing mouths.
Yes.
So it's replacing one tooth to many teeth, to improving the look of one tooth or improving the look of many teeth. So yes, a general dentist can look after and build up one tooth.
Yeah.
But you can't believe how many times patients choose to come to a specialist, even if it's one tooth, because it's in a very important part in the front of their mouth. And so much comes into it. It's engineering principles that come into every tooth that are built up.
Yeah.
So it's not just a tooth. And say, have you got 5 minutes for me? I just want to fix this tooth up.
It's a journey.
They come in. Just my front tooth is just a little bit worn. 2.5 years later, we finish that case.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they need orthodontics, that's correcting the position of teeth. People know what orthodontists do.
Yes, yes.
Then there's periodontists, which are the gum specialists.
Yes.
Then people know maxillofacial surgery. Those are the ones that do the surgery, place the implants, extract teeth, do reconstructive surgery after accidents, after cancer, that type of thing. Prosthodontics, not too many people know about, but we're the conductors of the orchestra. Mm-hmm. So if you got any issue, facial or oral or dental, your first port of call should be the prosthodontist, because we identify, we look at it holistically, and then we say, right, you're going to need the surgeon now, then you're going to need the orthodontist, then you're going to need this, and then the last...
You're like the architect.
Exactly, the architect and the engineer, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
Then the last thing, they'll come to us and say, right, everything now, the base is good. Engineering principles, you need a sound foundation. We need a good, healthy bone, good, healthy gum, good, healthy teeth. If you haven't got teeth, we can replace it. If the bone allows, we can place it with implants. So everybody knows about implants these days. And then we reconstruct the whole mouth as we do with engineering principles. So everything comes from the base up. And once everything is healthy and in a good state, we put the last building blocks, like the crown or the veneer or the implant.
And I think now is the perfect time to show some of those. Do you have any examples? And we'll get back to the highest and lowest points.
Yes, we can.
Thank you for getting back to that. I want to see, and I want the viewers to see the life changes, because here's an example. Doc Emile helped me change my life and my smile, because I was in a situation where all the stress made me grind my teeth down so much. And over a 2.5 year, almost 3 year visit after visit, like tweaking this, no, that way, forward, back. I was actually supposed to have a jaw surgery, but we've done so much work. It'll always continue, but I'm in a place now where I can smile. I can get back to the work that I love doing, which is interviewing and talking to people on camera and stuff. So the confidence came back. So let's take a look. And while he's showing me now, I'll get Mark to edit and put them on the screen right here below.
Kaz, that's up to you if you'd like to see, but that's the before photo that you came to me in 2022, 1st of February 2022. Wow. I've obviously known you many years before that.
Yes.
And I think it took a lot of courage for you to eventually say, listen.
Yeah. It was hard. I mean, because,
yeah,
you know, and guys.
That was your big smile.
This is my big smile. He made me have a big smile. So that's going to come on the screen now. And you're going to see how it ended up.
Well, give them a big smile now. It's quite remarkable. So, wow. Kaz, I'm not saying that because I'm in this interview with you, but yours was a very unique situation, a very unique, every mouth is unique.
Yeah, but mine was very unique.
And yours was completely unique because we did a treatment that some would call unconventional.
Yeah.
But to see the happiness and the warmth in your eyes after that has been one of the most rewarding. And I'm not saying it because you're here in front of me.
No, I remembered like just wanting to cry, basically. Yeah. Like you always look at other people's smiles and you be like, I always smile from within, like, and I'm always happy with people, and I always smile. But to now,
you weren't a happy smiler.
Yes, but now to be able to smile.
But I mean, we went from that, guys.
Yes.
And we put some good teeth in, and the profile difference it made.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember even when I used to do my fashion shots before, because I had a bit of an overbite, I used to always move my jaw to make it right for the picture, for everything else. So people didn't know what I was doing.
Adaptive patterns.
Yeah.
So if we haven't got a nice smile, without people knowing, they form adaptive smiles. So they'll give a half a smile. They don't realize it. And people just don't like to smile sometimes, or they'll hide their teeth without them knowing it.
Yeah.
And when they smile, there's no smile, there's no shine in the eye.
Yeah.
When you correct, it can be one tooth. I can lengthen one tooth.
Yeah.
And the difference it makes in somebody's mind. It's all about confidence, self-esteem, wellness. We can start talking about wellness.
It's all connected.
Health and wellness. And if you're healthy mentally and psychologically, you're going to be healthy physically as well, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So one goes without the other. So we can come back to.
But this is basically. I mean, how does that make you feel? Being part of changing people's lives like that.
Let me tell you at the outset.
What do you feel?
It's humbling.
Yeah.
It's certainly humbling and grounding, because I often compare it to a game of golf.
Yeah.
You think you've never mastered that sport.
Yeah.
You've never mastered it, because you can hit a great shot, the very next shot can be a terrible shot, will bring you right down to earth.
Yeah.
So I've done some fantastic work, but it's a humbling experience knowing that you play a part in somebody's wellness, somebody's well-being, and the smiles that come in with afterwards is the most fantastic feeling and rewarding feeling. Makes me sleep well at night. But while I'm doing it, I'm not sleeping.
I know. But no, so these are the nice parts of your work. Has there been a part that's really made you feel like, I don't know what I want to do. I want to just give up, because it's just, have you had those moments?
Those moments I've had.
How do you get through? How do you
I've had some,
get the strength to get through that?
When I say lower moments, not that it's been a absolute low moment in my personal life, but a low moment within my professional life.
Yeah.
You cannot please everybody.
Yes.
And you will get the patient, not so much that it's a difficult work to do, but a difficult patient mentally and psychologically, that they need more than a dental makeover.
They need mental health.
They need serious mental health issues.
Yeah.
And that's when we've got a team of psychologists, we've got a team of physios, OTs that need, this person needs more than that. And often that is a bit of a low point because these people are not happy. It's not just a smile that will make them happier.
Yes.
You know? So, yes. But I mean, let's just get
Any other
back to
examples?
this. I mean, I'll give you some examples. This beautiful young girl, you know, that was just one tooth. But I want you to see her eyes.
Wow.
Just one tooth. Look at that smile compared to that smile.
Amazing.
You know, just to show you from that to something that we then go much further to the other extreme when you got this beautiful, also it's not all about the young beauty models walking around.
It's about functionality.
It's about functionality.
Yeah.
This beautiful 80-year-old lady, you know, had never functioned with false teeth for many, many years. And 6 months later,
I mean, look at the smile.
she had the most beautiful and happy smile. And these were fixed teeth on implants.
Wow.
And so age is not a criterion. People say, I may only have 6 months left to live. But have a happy 6 months.
That's what I'm saying.
Your quality of life, your nutritional status, your psychological status. She's so happy because she can eat a pasta and she can eat it.
I mean,
so they're life-changing. They are definitely life-changing. This guy, it was only replacing, I mean, he's a teacher, but he never ever smiled because he was missing a few teeth in the front. And we replaced those. I saw him last week. He said he hasn't stopped smiling.
just what a difference.
And small things. I'm not showing you
But the most
groundbreaking.
I've been on the other side of this. So I know how it feels. To be able to smile, you know. And at first it's weird because someone's looking at you, and you think there's something wrong with your teeth because you haven't smiled properly, and then
Now you'll go to some serious cases.
Wow.
So we had to take all these teeth out, top and bottom. And then if you scroll up, that was the after. And then if you scroll across, you'll see the before and the after together.
I see.
And this lady came from one of our neighborly countries and would travel because it was so important to her.
So, I mean, obviously a lot of people can't afford this type of work.
Yes.
So how do you make something like this affordable? I mean, obviously it's a luxury. It's in a luxury space right now. So what are people looking at, more or less?
And that is also a hard part of the business.
Yeah.
I'm in an industry that a lot of the time is not life or death.
Yeah.
People can function without teeth.
Yeah.
If it's just the physical part of that tooth, people can function without it. There are people, millions of people around the world that haven't had teeth for many years and are eating better than you and me.
The gums must be like
And
really.
it's also a cultural thing. Sometimes they don't want teeth. Okay?
Yes.
But all things being equal,
Yes.
it's not a life or death situation. Unfortunately, finances come into it. But there are different categories of treatment.
Yes.
So we can do a set of false teeth, which we call dentures, full top and bottom, which look beautiful and they can function well with. Going all the way to doing full fixed teeth on implants, which is, let's call it the expensive or the first world
And with the
option.
implant, you drilling into the bone.
Yes, so that's it. We work with a team of surgeons.
Yes.
And you actually, they cut in the gum open.
Yeah.
They're drilling into the bone. They're inserting a titanium metal screw that goes into the bone, and it's stitched up. And we leave that for 3 months to integrate with your own solid bone. Once it's integrated, then that implant is strong enough to put a beautiful tooth on and a crown. That's what I do, and I screw in a tooth into the implant. So, yes, we fight in medical aids and finances. It's part and parcel of the business, of the industry we're in. But there are certainly ways, a lot of the photos that I showed, you wouldn't even know, are actually teeth that come in and out.
Yeah.
And so-called cheap treatment. So it can make a massive difference. The expectations of the patient is what you have to deal with.
Yeah, yeah.
Because unfortunately, it's not a right to have a fixed tooth in your mouth.
Yes.
We're not entitled to have a fixed tooth. There's nothing to replace a God-given tooth. Your God-given tooth, our talents, our God-given there's nothing better.
Yes.
Once you've neglected that, and once that tooth is lost, you can replace whatever you want. It's not your God-given tooth. So, unfortunately, they come with high expectations. You've got to lower them. If there's no finances, okay, live with that gap, or we can give you just something to fill that gap so that you can smile, but it's something that you take in and out.
Yeah.
One end of the spectrum to the other end.
So at least there's options.
There's options of doing bone grafts and gum grafts and adding in, depending on what you want.
Yes.
So we can tailor, custom make a treatment for all.
Yeah. So now, I mean, that must be so rewarding. I know, seeing the changes that you do. Has there been a case where it has been sort of like a life or death situation where you've realized that work just changes the whole life of that person?
Yeah. Absolutely.
What sticks out?
We deal with a lot of cancer patients.
Yeah.
Cancer of the throat, cancer of the face, cancer of the skin. And these very often these patients need radiation.
Yeah.
And which affects teeth. So today we choose to take teeth out that we know that are going to decay.
Yes.
Because the mouth becomes very dry and the patients can't clean properly.
Yeah.
And before it becomes an environment that is not good for a lot of these teeth.
Yeah.
So we try and anticipate those, and we take those teeth out before.
Yeah.
And the patients may have a full complement of very healthy teeth, but then they've got cancer in this area. It's going to be irradiated.
Yeah.
So sometimes we tell them, not sometimes, it often happens, we've got to extract all the back teeth.
Yeah.
So 16 teeth, because it's going to be in the way, or they're going to be affected.
Yeah,
and it's not easy to tell that patient, good, healthy, they're dealing with a cancer already now, they're going to lose their teeth as well.
Wow.
But with implants today, and these type of treatments, this is not a lucrative part of the business. It's you want to help these people.
Yeah.
So the medical aids have come on board as well. So a lot of these treatments, we just want to cover costs. Yeah. And those are, what can I say, humbling patients to deal with, and also very rewarding. Yeah. Because once it's treated and once they've done their treatment and they're cancer-free and the implants are working and we put good bridges on for them, we replace it with fixed teeth again. So they're back to where they started, hopefully. So those are certainly hard cases to deal with. And you're dealing with a whole medical team. So we're dealing with ENTs, with plastic surgeons, with maxillofacial surgeons, with anesthetists, obviously, with prosthodontists, and with all the laboratories and everybody.
It's amazing how it takes a team.
It needs a coordinated team.
And you've got such a lovely team around you, from the person that helps you with Sylvia to the front desk to, like, the whole team is so supportive. So when someone comes into the practice, they really feel comforted from the beginning, from if it's Evie, if it's this one, if it's Glenda, the whole, even from the gate.
Yes.
There is an ambiance, and you guys have created this wonderful facility that's changing lives. So just wanted to give you your flowers on that.
Thank you.
The whole
and I love seeing you, Cass, because you come in with a good positive energy as well.
Also, it's affected by the help that I've received.
Yes.
But let's also talk about the part that fitness and taking care of yourself plays a part in allowing you do your job better.
Absolutely.
and just living a better life. How important is it?
When I took a conscious decision, because I wasn't that active anymore. And I thought, no, I've been active all my life.
Because you were active at school, and then you went and studied.
So active.
And then,
And I thought, no, that's, I wasn't enjoying my body.
Yes.
For the first time in my life. So I thought, well, let me go and see what this gym is all about. I was never knew what an inside of the gym looked like.
Yes.
So at my first practice, there was a little gym. It was actually a karate studio and a little personal trainer that was running a few little weights.
Yes.
So I used to run across at lunchtime, quickly change, do my gym shower, get back to work, or in the morning. And very early on, I realized not only the changes my body was undergoing, but also what it meant to me mentally.
Yeah.
And up to today, even 30 years later, if I'm not active 2 or 3 times a week, when I say active, doing my gym
You feel a dip.
program, my metabolism is different.
Everything.
My mental state is different, and that's the honest truth. So I learned very early on in life about balance in your life.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think of myself as being a balanced person, because I've got the most beautiful family, wife and children. I've got a fantastic career.
Yeah.
That's my real passion.
And gratitude is there.
And my gratitude is there.
Yeah.
But if I do not look after my physical self,
how are you going to enjoy it?
That mental state is not the same.
Yes.
So that's the truth. And let's not forget our spirituality as well, because that plays a big part in my pie.
And it's one of the dimensions of wellness. It's
absolutely.
like a very important part.
So, for me, it's a good, healthy lifestyle, good, healthy family. Look after your mind, look after your spirituality, look after your body.
Yes.
And it sounds like like a textbook type of a lifestyle that you're trying to, but
things work.
We play hard. I always play hard as well.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed my life.
Yeah.
I still like to party. I do my golf. I play my golf. That's also good for my stress relief. When I see you 3 times a week, it's our stress relief. We have a good time.
Yeah. But isn't it nice? Well, what's nice for me is when I train medical professionals as well, the facts are backing up what I'm doing with you. So it's not just for the aesthetics anymore. It's like, look at science. Doctors, scientists are backing up the importance of taking care of your body, the release of oxytocin, the hormones, how important for your bone density.
Absolutely.
And like you've just had an awesome birthday, and not many people look. You want to tell people how old you are?
Look, you can work it out. I started gym when I was 30, and I said I've been doing it for 30 years. So I turned 60 on the 5th of May.
And my man looks like he should be in movies. And like I always say to you, you are leading the way for me to follow. I got to keep on. As long as you're going, I'm going. And we're going to go for a long time. And what people don't know is the more you take care of yourself and train, you reduce your metabolic age.
Absolutely.
So you may be 60, but you go to your health assessment, you're like 40.
Absolutely.
You know, it's real.
And it's real. And I remember starting out, and the guy that was at the gym, I remember saying, he said, listen, you got to start now. It's a lifestyle, as we've always spoken about.
Let's just give him his flowers. Shout out Dorian.
Yes, I started with Dorian Cabral many years ago, and I was with him for 25 years. I'm a loyal person.
Yes.
And it was only because of logistics.
Exactly.
But we're still good friends
he's a
today.
good mate of both of us as well.
Yeah, and we logistics. But I met you going on maybe 10 years, 8 years, and we've got a great, we get to have a great time, great relationship. We love seeing you.
Let's also talk about, don't forget when you're going to the importance of the whole family being in sync with this fitness.
I had a brother that used to live in England, and when he came back in the early 2000s, got him involved as well.
Yeah.
And he's loving it, and his daughter and
his son, the whole family.
And our kids now, 16 and 15, they've grown up in it. They used to come with us, if you remember. They were little 3 and 4, and we used to pick them up and do all their gym. So they've grown up around it, so I'm hoping and praying that it will have an influence, a positive influence on them too. But just to remember, the things that have always stuck in my mind, and he said, listen, you got to be, this is not a race.
It's a marathon.
It's a marathon. It's a journey.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to start it now. You're 30, so that you're well when you're 60. And I look now, and I'm sitting and I'm 60.
Isn't that so true?
So now I've got to change my goal.
It's like a policy, like a retirement policy, but you're like,
it's an RA.
You're paying forward, and then you meet it, and you're like, whoa, because how many people do you see that are your age, that you grew up with, that didn't do this, and where are they at?
And unfortunately, many friends and colleagues have never made 60. So it's an honor today to make 60. We've got to count our blessings.
Yes.
But I've got to change my goal. I want to be still fit and well when I'm 80.
90, of course.
Can we make that deal?
I'm there with you, man. I'm there with you. So let's talk about, before we go, what the definition of a fit life is for you.
A definition of a fit life, as I say, it's not only being fit physically, because that you can do, you know, if you've got that. And some people say, oh, it's too late. They cannot start now. It is never too late. If there's any message I'd like to say, it is never too late, because whatever you're going to do is going to be more than what you are doing right now.
Yes, yes.
So a fit life, fit mind. So you got to look after your mind.
Yes.
By that I also mean you got to look after what you put into your body.
Yeah.
And this is not that you have to live on breadcrumbs and carrot sticks. Yeah. You just have well balanced.
Yeah.
Eat anything, but exercise. Eat anything, exercise.
Yes.
Look after your physical being as well. And I think one doesn't go without the other. So fit and healthy life comes with eating right, drinking correctly. Be careful what you put in your body.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. You don't deprive your body of anything, but all in balance. And definitely look after your physical being.
Yes.
And without the physical, it's very hard to have a healthy mental state. So I think it definitely goes hand in hand. And I've seen it in myself, and I've proven it. And, you know, we'd all love
Proof's
to...
in the pudding.
Proof in the pudding. I'd love to stay in bed all day and say, you know, you don't want to do anything. I've got to still force myself a lot of mornings to get up. Yeah. But I see if I don't do it after a week or two...
You regret.
I regret it. Yeah. And I see the changes. So I'm back again.
So we skipped past this question early on. Has there been a moment that was, what were your darkest patch and how did you get through? Because I know you as one of the most consistent people I know, but we all have ups and downs. So we want to always like plant seeds and show people, give people the tools in order to get through. What stands out for you?
I'll tell
because
you,
we all have our loves and our losses and everything
maybe
else.
a little secret that maybe I've never shared with you.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a low in my life.
Yeah.
I was blessed with brains.
Yeah.
So going through school, I did pretty well during school. Coming from a small town in Bloemfontein, or Bloemfontein that I came from, our life was sport and clean living, and you know, we were just generally healthy. Coming up to Johannesburg was a big cultural shock for me. Although I had a lot of family here, I knew what Joburg was about, but it was the excitement of the jewel. Do you remember?
Hillbrow was shining all those days.
Hillbrow was...
Caesars.
So it was like a bit of a bird out of a cage.
Culture shock.
So in my first year, I thought, well, this is not for me. I'm here to enjoy life as well.
Yeah.
And I cruised through first year thinking, you know, it's not an issue. Yeah. I'm going to get through with very little work. And I failed my first year. Oh. I failed my first year at varsity. Coming from 12 years of excelling at school to coming to failing. And it was a reality check.
Sure.
And I cried many days and many hours. And in those days, there was still military conscription.
Yeah.
And by 1%, 50% was a pass, and for two subjects, I got 49%.
Sure. For
two subjects. If you got 49% for one subject, you could get a supplementary.
Yes.
And you could still try and...
You were like 1%?
1%. 1%. I said, but what? And I tried everything. You know, you try and go and speak to not what you know, who you know. You try. That was the rule.
Whoa.
So I thought, well, that's it. I'm giving up. I've got to go to the army. And then I must decide I'm going to go into my father's business.
So what happens then?
So, and that was what I was going to do. I said, there's no way I'm going back. It was the embarrassment. It was humiliation.
Yeah.
How did I fail? It's not possible. Not me. And it was really a dark time because I was locking myself in the room. I didn't even want to go out. And
of course.
Didn't want to see anybody.
Yeah.
And obviously my parents had a good talk to me. My brother had a good talk to me. They spoke some sense into me and forced me to go back. And I redid that year. I had to redo my first year. I mean, I was a youngster. I was only 17 when I matriculated. So age was on my side.
Yeah. But still, you had to go back and face those people.
I had to face those
that
people.
Had passed and moved on.
My mates, I'd met big mates. Yeah. And they were moved on.
Yeah.
And here I had to repeat. So that was a big eye-opener. I redid that year. I got all 80 pluses first because I did some work.
Oh, you made sure you stayed
I
at
made
home.
sure I stayed.
You stayed out of clubs.
I stayed out of the parties, and I made it. And that was a big eye opener, and showed me that nothing comes easy.
Yeah.
That you have to work in life. You have to work, no matter what money you've got, no matter what brains you've got. If you don't use your God-given talents,
what disciplines and what consistency did you apply in that next year when you went back? What specific things did you do that you didn't do
on my posterior, on my backside, and I had to put in the hours.
You had to put in hours.
I had to burn the midnight oil.
Okay.
Spent many hours in the library on my own at Wits Medical School.
Well, no one's watching.
I used to lock up the library. I mean, I was the last to leave. First to get there in the morning. It was a massive eye opener. Let's say it's me.
So I'm saying is,
it's either you or nobody. Sink or
and that's why
swim.
I say everyone's got a story.
Absolutely.
No, that's something that you would not normally tell anybody.
You don't just divulge.
But that's the thing that will change someone's life out there. It could be the best surgeon or whatever ever. To know that, oh my God, someone out there has just got those marks in their field, and they're like, like people in Bloom and Kimberley that kill themselves as teenagers. Someone out there could be like, okay, let's get back to it. Keep the faith and keep going. Thank you so much for sharing that. So, and obviously, eating right and having positive people around you made a difference as well.
Absolutely.
And cutting the negative away.
Absolutely. And I must say, having a gorgeous, dynamic woman behind me.
Yeah, that makes a difference. Let's talk about, before we go, your plans for the future, for you, for the family, and advice for anyone out there that'd like to do what you're doing.
Well, from a personal
and
point of view, my family is my life, as you know.
Yes.
We come from a very close family, so I've got a great son, handsome son, and beautiful daughter. So that's my life, and I'd like to be around for another, please God, 20, 25 years, and seeing them prosper, seeing them do well. So that's really, there's no question about
nothing
it.
like being a father, eh? Like being a parent. There's nothing like it.
Nothing like it. From a career perspective, I'd like to keep on going as long. The one thing I do not want to do is retire early.
Yes.
I want to keep on going. I need my mind to be active as long as possible. I want to keep on going as long as I want, as long as I can.
Yes.
Even if I taper down, even if I say, okay, I'm going to work until I'm 75 and then still just go in. Ideally, please God, I've got the mental capacity in my hands to do that.
But the longer you take care of yourself, the longer you'll be able to go and do this and be of service.
And that's my aim. Like him or not, one of my idols in life is Gary Player. And he's very, he's nearly approaching 100.
But he's disciplined.
He's disciplined. It's just a lesson for us all to learn, So that's really what I hope and pray for. And I just hope to still be moving with you in 15, 20 years' time. Okay, I want you and I to come into the gym in our walking sticks.
Well, my sticks would mine's going to be a pimp stick. I would be floating in there. Doc, thank you so much. Like I said, Strength Out of Struggle, the podcast is about giving those people flowers that inspire me and that inspire others. Thank you for sharing your story. May you be continued success and keep on sharing love and inspiration.
I can say one more thing, Kaz. And I know strength comes out of struggle, and I know the strength that you've come out, that you get from the struggled life as well.
Yes.
Which is very inspirational in itself. So I'm sure you're making a difference in many, many lives.
God willing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we can only hope for, pray for, to leave a bit of a legacy behind us. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Guys, if you like what we're doing, keep on watching, keep on checking out the stories, and please like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, keep reaching for the stars. We'll see you.